Yo, I'm Elijah Elibert, and welcome to the 25th Factor Beyond the Game. We have a great show lined up for you today and an extraordinary guest, Derrick Tatum.
Because you got to understand, you're recruiting against a grown man and out of the transfer portal. So your body has to look like somebody on their roster. You are on there casually having conversations, tweet, meaning whatever you put out on social media, it is you.
Let's talk about the transfer portal.
Ooh, the portal, baby. Me going through that is the reason I am successful right now.
What problems did you see specifically in young athletes that inspired you to create Elite Talent?
I see selfishness. Social media has made it seem like everybody's living a good life, everything is all good, when that ain't the case. Every single thing is a tool, but it's not just business, it's going to the right schools, it's relationships. You know, we focus on every area because every kid needs every single thing. I have a recruiting class just for the parents because they got to be educated too. So now they understand the process is not just one thing. Your high school coach job is not to get you an offer. They're going to be the biggest influence on your life, your outside training, your outside exposure. Everybody overshooting their shot and missing out on opportunities because they think their son's better than what they really are.
As you know, it's my sophomore year.
Okay.
A big part of my recruiting process, a major part of my journey. I just got my first offer earlier this week.
Okay.
I'm excited about
Congratulations,
that.
man. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you. But what advice would you give young athletes to stand out in front of college coaches?
The main thing is right here. Here's first thing, control the controllables. All right. So one thing is, I can't control me being 6'2". I can't control the school I go to, but I can control how I eat, how I sleep, and my body.
Right.
Like I can't go on campus looking like a little skinny little boy. All right. Because you got to understand, you're recruiting against a grown man and out of the transfer portal. So your body has to look like somebody on their roster. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's the main thing. Control the controllables, eat right, sleep right, and get your body looking like a grown man. Like if you a skilled player and you ain't got a six-pack, you in trouble. All right, if you a big guy and you just a fat guy, I'm sorry. Like I'm not recruiting you. Get your body right where at least if you're a big guy, you're not just, sloppy fat. All right, lose some weight. Get your body right.
Okay, so on the topic of recruitment, how important do you feel that stars are in that process?
So that's a subject. So now, stars, okay, stars don't mean nothing. Nah, they mean something, man. They do. So it's important that I tell parents, you want to get ranked at some point.
Right.
Because see, what it does is it allows people to know who you are early. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's what getting ranked does. It brings attention to you, where now schools can say, okay, he's a 3-star, he's a 4-star, so he must be good already. Even though some kids don't be as good as they say they are, but those rankings allow at least the attention to get to you.
Right.
So I would say it's important. It is that at some point you want to get ranked. At some point.
But how important is social media, and how can it affect your recruiting positively or negatively?
Oh man, that's a good one. Social media, and I'm gonna say this real clear, it's a place of business. All right. Social media is not a place where you are on there casually having conversations with random people.
Right.
Okay. I understand that everything, you are what you tweet, meaning whatever you put out on social media, it is you, whether you believe it or not. So, I tell people all the time, do not like or share any derogatory or super political views on social media.
Okay.
Imagine that somebody is gonna pay you $100,000 to represent their brand. What would they want to see on social media? So, social media can help you if you're using it the right way. If you're posting your grades, you're posting your camps, you're posting your highlights, you're posting your family. That's what it's for. But it's not for me to be on there trolling people or me talking about political views. Listen, I am I like both parties, okay?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not gonna be on social media saying something bad about one party because I understand this is business.
Right, yes sir. Okay, so on that topic of social media, do you have any like examples or like stories that you've had like a first-hand account of watching?
Yeah. So about a year and a half ago, there's a quarterback, a 4-star quarterback. He had posted something derogatory about black people.
Okay.
And he went from 20 offers to no offers overnight.
Wow.
All right, overnight because of what he posted. So I tell people, man, you gotta guard social media like you guard your life because it is very important. It could hurt you and it can help you, but you can't be posting things that somebody can see, that somebody can view that as offensive. Okay. So that's why when I'm posting things, it's opinionated sometimes, and it's factual, but I'm not posting anything that somebody can say that's hate or that's something that can be misconstrued for something that's super negative.
Okay, so while we're on the topic of recruitment, let's talk about the transfer portal.
Ooh, the portal, baby, the portal.
With coaches leaning more towards these more experienced players, like Dion, for example.
Yeah.
His Colorado team is consisted of mostly athletes coming out of the transfer portal. How do you think young athletes can combat that and stay competitive with recruitment?
All right, so the main thing is, all right, this is what I tell people all the time, and somebody told me a long time ago. Hey, Derrick, man, count your own money. Like, count your own money. Like, don't worry about what's in his pockets. Like, I don't care that you got 20 offers, you got 10 offers, I'm worried about myself. So what I'm saying is, one thing is this, get your grades right. All right, 3.5 or better GPA. All right, like 3.5, 3.0 is the standard. Like you cannot be below a 3.0 GPA. Let me tell you why. So grades matter so much because a lot of times if you aren't D1, then if you go to a smaller school, they got to supplement some of that money with your grades. That's why 3.0 core GPA is the standard. Now, I would say 3.5 because 3.5 allows you to get an offer from any school.
Right.
So now, if I got a 3.5 GPA, I'm in the best shape possible. I'm gonna say it again. I'm in the best shape possible. 6-pack, arms looking good, body looking good, okay? And I'm a varsity starter. You will get an offer from somewhere. But you gotta control the controllables because at the end of the day, look on whatever roster you're looking at and see, okay, if I'm gonna go to the school, who am I gonna replace? Who on this roster looks like me? All right, and if you looking at Texas and Ohio State and you don't look like those guys, then that's not a school for you, which is okay. It's okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like it's like this, man. When I was younger, I wanted to date Sanaa Lathan, Halle Berry, J-Lo. They're out my league, man. Okay. But that doesn't mean I can't find a great wife, which I got one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So like we thinking because we can't go to Ohio State or Georgia or Texas that we aren't worthy. No, that doesn't mean you can't find a great school that fits you.
Right.
And I think that's one thing that kids gotta focus on. Focus on a school that fits you, not a school that you just like.
I want to talk about you a little bit more.
Yeah.
In your camps, the NCEC, now one of the biggest camps in the Southeast.
Yeah.
You had over 500 students last year with many getting offers.
Yeah.
So just tell me about what the NCEC stands for and how you got it to become so successful.
Well, it's called the National College Evaluation Camp. And so let me tell you how I started. So I started because when I was first training and I was just training and I wasn't doing everything I'm doing now, I felt my kids were getting slighted at camps. So I prayed about it. Then I bought the first Adidas camp to Atlanta, which was success. And then during COVID, I said I need to find something that can really help these kids. So I changed the name to National College Evaluation Camp. Okay. So what my camp does is it allows a kid who don't have offers, don't have exposure, to do drills that college coaches want to see. And then now I know that if I send it to a college coach, he can evaluate a student and say, okay, this is a kid I can offer based off these drills and these combine numbers. So it's turned from, I used to just, so now we had over 500 kids get offers from our camps within 30 days of coming to our camp, over 500. And every single kid that we choose as a top performer, these kids always wind up getting offers. And we had Trevor Lawrence come to our camp, McCole Harmon, Jawan Williams, who got drafted, Jaquincy McKinstry. We've had so many top guys who didn't have any offers, no exposure, and got offers after coming to our camp. Last year, man, we had an 8th grade kid got an offer at the camp. We had another kid got an offer at the camp because we have college coaches coming to our camps, and then we send the film to college coaches, so now these kids can get further evaluated. So every single year, our top performers, and I pick a lot of them. I don't pick just 4 or 5, because what happens is most camps you go to, they'll pick one MVP offense, one defense, and then overall MVP. I pick an MVP for every position, which is 7 kids, and then I pick a top 10 and a top 5 from quarterback. So basically, 50 or 60 kids get recognized. So now, what happens is that's the first time most of those kids ever get a national article. So last year we had Rivals there, 2% Sports was there, and other national platforms that these kids get their first national article, which allows their recruiting to kick up and allows people to know who they are.
Okay, so with so much success with your camps and elite talent, what legacy do you want to put on youth football?
I want to just make sure that I want people to understand that our program is a program where if you come in this program, you do the right things, you can get exposure, you can learn how to be a better person, and you can get a scholarship offer. But it's not just one thing though. Like, it's not just an offer. Like, everybody come to me and they want just an offer, but that's the candy. But once you leave my program, you're gonna become a better person. You're gonna understand how to navigate social media. You're gonna understand how to talk to college coaches. You're gonna understand how to become a better person to prepare yourself in life, not just football. I'm blessed to say that I've had over 100 kids graduate from college out of my program, from college, with college degrees. So that's the ultimate goal for me. Like I'm when a kid called me back and say, "Coach, I'm getting married," I'm like, I'm getting old now, y'all. Like, I got kids getting married now because I've been in the game that long. Right. And my goal is just to see you graduate from college. Like if you just play football and you get a college degree, I'm happy for you. And it doesn't matter to me what school. Like, if you tell me you go to an NIA school or D2 school, I'm just as happy as you as somebody who's going to UGA. Because I understand that the person that goes to a D2 school, that means he probably only had 1 or 2 offers. So he's ecstatic. So I'm even happier for a guy like that than a guy who going to UGA, because the guy that going to UGA, he probably got super great size, super great athletic ability, and he got 20 offers. So like, I want to see my kids succeed and get a college degree and become great men in life. Okay,
I love that, Coach. I love that. So with elite talent, what's next? What's next for elite talent? Do you have any plans on expanding, going national? Like, what's next?
Well, my ultimate goal, and I'm saying this, I want to go to Africa. I found out where I'm from. No, you can step back. I don't want to go. I'm going to Africa. Okay. My family is from Sierra Leone, Mende tribe. On my mom's side, my dad's side is from Gabon, the Tiki and Koda tribe. And I'm going to Africa to start my program in Africa. Because I just feel there's so much talent around the world that I don't want to limit our program to just United States. I want to, my program will be national in the next year. Okay. I mean, not worldwide in the next year. It's already national.
Okay, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to go on one of your college bus tours. We went to a lot of different colleges, Georgia Tech, Bowling Green, but I really want to talk about Kentucky. And can you tell me a little bit why Kentucky is so important to you?
Well, I mean, so Kentucky is my alma mater. That's a school that I went to. That's a school that showed me how to be a man. Because when I first went there, I was 18 years old, and I didn't understand the dynamics of football, or really the business of football. And then when I got there, I learned that relationships is worth more than money. And because I graduated from there, and because I'm an alumni from there, allows me to go back there and have a good experience, allows me to bring kids, and it allows me to continue to build relationships with other people because I'm an alumni there. So.
Okay, so you talk about building relationships and networking. I know networking is really important, knowing you and knowing all your connections and what you could do with elite talent. Can you just talk about how important those relationships are in building your brand and your business?
Well, see, so to me, relationships is the most important thing, and I think a lot of students don't understand that part of it is you got to build relationships at a young age. Like, you got to continue to reach out to people. You got to continue to be a nice person, because people will not forget how you acted or how you treated them when you met them. So that's why I'm always nice to people, and I'm always respectful, and I'm always shaking hands, yes sir, no sir, and continue to be a good person, because as you get older, the relationships are more valuable than money. And that's why I tell people all the time is just always keep your name good, keep your name clean, because you never know when you're gonna need the relationships as you get older.
Right. Okay. So we've talked about Kentucky, and now I want to get into like the next level with you. I know you played for the Tennessee Titans, the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
Just talk about that experience of being in the NFL.
So now that was I can talk about that experience because it made me realize that football is not a game, and as a young man we think it's a game, but when someone starts paying you money, or someone starts to pay to see you play, then it's a business, and I didn't realize that. And the reason that I got cut from the Seattle Seahawks wasn't because I couldn't play, it was because of my attitude was in the right place.
Right.
You know, and I stress that to young men right now, that attitude is everything. Like, you gotta have a great attitude, and when you hear the phrase being a locker room guy, that's the realest stuff you can ever, like, you have to be a locker room guy, somebody that can go in the locker room and people can like, and people know who you are, and people respect you, because that was the reason I got cut, because I wasn't the best locker room guy. I was kind of to myself. I wasn't really engaging with my teammates as I should have been.
Okay. So you talked about your story getting cut. I know with me, but can you just talk about how that happened for the viewers?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Okay, when you go to college, when you go to the NFL, you have to be, when I say 100% locked in, 100% locked in to the goal, the mission. And I thought I was, but me living, me not being engaging, man, me not being, I worked hard, but relationships, I'm going back to relationships, man. Like, I didn't build the relationships that I needed to build while I was there, which then I didn't have nobody advocating for me to be on that team, and that's why I got cut.
Okay, all right. So we've talked about the NFL, we've talked about Kentucky. So how do those experiences together help build your philosophy for developing young athletes?
And you know what? Me going through that is the reason I'm successful right now. Is because, you know, when you're young, you know you're a good-looking guy, you know, lifting weights, and you know people like being around you. You kind of take that for granted as you get older.
Right.
And what I realize is that everybody wants to understand what value can you bring to my organization. And because I got cut, it took me to a place where I had to realize that I got to take a step back. I got to be a better person. And then I said, well, what does young men like you would need to get to that level? So that's why I built my program, not just to train athletes, but work with them mentally, teach them about social media, teach them how to carry themselves in public, teach them how to talk to college coaches. And that's why my program is full circle, because I needed that. Mm-hmm. You know, if I had a mentor like me in my life, I probably would have played 10 years in the league, but I didn't understand the business aspect of how to conduct yourself on and off the football field.
Okay, so just going off of that, what problems did you see specifically in young athletes that inspired you to create Elite Talent?
One thing I see, and I'm seeing it more now, is I see selfishness. I see everybody think it's all about me, especially with social media. Social media has made it seem like everybody living a good life, everything is all good, when that ain't the case. And so, like, I wanted to make sure that I dealt with young men on a different level, and I'm teaching them the entire process, because there isn't just one thing. Like, people think, oh, I'm gonna play 7-on-7 and get an offer, or I'm gonna go to this school and get an offer. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just hang with this guy and get an offer. It is everything. Every single thing is a tool. So it is mentorship, it is training, it is college visits, but it's not just visits, it's going to the right schools, it's relationships, it's camps, it's 7-on-7. So when you add all that up together, put it in the pot, now that's how you get recruited, that's how you get exposure, and that's what I wanted to establish, to be able to help students with the full process, not just one part of the process.
Okay, so you talk about the full process, like things on and off the field. So how does elite talent balance those physically, for like the physical skill, as long as your mental, getting your mental right?
Well, see, that's the thing, and that's why we focus on every area, because every kid needs every single thing. It is, okay, training. Okay, so you got to train. So we train hard. Our kids gonna get better. But then, what about their mental? So that's why we have a mentorship call every single week to talk to the kids, because I want to know what's going on in your life. Because you got to understand this right here. Who really checks up on you besides your parents? Yeah, I mean, just think about that. Who really asks you, Elijah, man, how you doing today, man? Or Elijah, man, what's going on? So I wanted to be that person that now I got an outlet for my students to just talk freely and be themselves, and not have to worry about being so formal, because as a young man, you always getting told to do something. Right. From wake up in the morning, to be at practice on time, to be at school on time, but nobody ever actually asks you and asks you, well, what do you think about this? How do you think this makes you feel? So that's why I want to make sure I handle that part, and then also with the parents. I have a recruiting class just for the parents, because they got to be educated too.
Right.
I want to talk to the parents and give them the vital information, so now they understand the process is not just one thing. And I'm gonna keep saying that, because every parent thinks their kid is gonna get a scholarship this way. But unless you are 6'2", running a 4.5 or better, you're not gonna just pop up and somebody gonna give you an offer. It is steps to that process that everybody gotta follow. So that's why I wanted to teach my parents and my students that process, so they all can have a situation where they can be in a position to earn an offer from school.
Okay, so we're talking about earning offers here, and with high school coaches, a lot of athletes think it's their coach's responsibility to get them that offer and get them recruited. So how do you feel about that, and how do you think the athlete can take their recruitment to their own hands?
So I'll tell you that, man, this is a big misconception. I'm gonna say it to this: your high school coach job is not to get you an offer. I'm gonna say it again. Your high school coach job is to win high school football games. All right, that's just what it is. So like, quit making the excuse. Man, my high school coach. No, man, it's your job, your parents' job, to put you in position to get exposure, to get an offer. Let me just tell y'all why. I coach high school. I run football camps. I train. I mentor. So I see everything, and I was an Army Bowl director for middle school. So I see it from a different perspective. Your high school coach, he's trying to game plan. He has the alumni to deal with. He has a coaching staff. He has to worry about kids coming to class, kids' grades. He's not sitting at home after practice, after he's watched 8 hours a week of film, sending film off for the backup tight end. Like he not doing that. Right. Like it's just no way he's doing that. So it's your job and then also, you have to seek outside training. All right, because guess what? You have practice for 2 hours. You have individual drills for 15 minutes. So 15 minutes for 4 days a week. That's it. So and then it ain't just you, it's 10 other players in your position. So how are you gonna get better? That's why it's crucial for students and parents. You gotta seek outside training, okay? But not just anybody. You gotta make sure you go to people that are reputable, and you know that's gonna work with your son continually, because they're gonna be the biggest influence on your life, your outside training, your outside exposure. So it's up to the parents to figure out, where should I take my son? But also, this is the main thing why, and I'm gonna say it like this. This is why most people don't have offers. If your son's a senior and you have a 3.0 or better GPA and you're a varsity starter and you don't have no offers, take this hand This hand, you might need to slap yourself because it's your fault. Because you're fishing in the wrong pond. Like, you overshooting your shot. At the end of the day, there's a school that fits everybody. But what happens is everybody believes they're better than what they really are. Mm-hmm. So like I'm a senior, I'm a starter, and I don't have no offers, but I'm still trying to visit UGA, G-Tech, Tennessee. Like, bro, they're not recruiting you. So if you could take a step back and say, hold on, let me be realistic with my son. Okay, my son is not 6'2". My son is 5'9". He plays linebacker. Mm-hmm. He's not playing D1 football. That's just what it is. Okay, unless he's super athletic, super great, okay, cool. But people don't understand, there's like 700 other schools outside D1 that play football. So you gotta be realistic and understand where your son is really at, and then put your son in that position. That's the main thing that I'm seeing, is everybody overshooting their shot and missing out on opportunities because they think their son's better than what they really are.
Okay, I really like that. And you were talking about the misconceptions of the recruiting process. Are there any few big ones that you'd like to talk about?
You know what? That's the main thing, though. No, you know what? No, here's the second thing, is because you outplayed so-and-so in a game, you believe you deserve his offers. Like, that don't mean, like, just because you outplayed a guy that got 20 offers, don't mean you better than him.
Right.
Like, don't mean you got more potential than him. Like, that don't mean anything. It means you outplayed him. That's all it meant. I think that parents have to really look at the size, the speed, and the height of their son and say, where does he fit at? Now, if you believe that you are D1, look at that roster and go say, okay, so like somebody said, well, my son should be going to UGA. I said, okay, watch the UGA versus Texas game, and you tell me on that roster who your son better than. You tell me whose spot can he go take. Because everybody say that, but can you really go take KJ Bowden's spot? Are you better than that 6'2" DB from Buford that started as a freshman? Are your son not equal to him? Better than him. If not, then you ain't UGA.
Right. Okay.
Okay. That to me, that's the main factor. Is I'm telling y'all, parents and students, stop overshooting your shot. Okay. It's okay to have to be D1. See, but everybody wants social media likes and clicks. They want to blessed to have my offer. Like, man, it's about going to school, getting a degree, no matter what. Like, nobody says, when you're looking for a job, nobody looks at it and says, this is a D1, this is a D2, this is a D3. They say, do you have a degree?
Right.
And I think when parents understand that part of it, look, I need to get a degree. I need to go to school where my son is going to school for free, or I'm paying very little. It may not be D1. Like, I think that right there is probably the main thing, is everybody is not D1, especially with the transfer portal. Especially because, think about it, I'm a college coach. Like this is just sheer economics, y'all. Okay, I got a 21-year-old guy, a 20-year-old guy that played college ball for 2 years, experience. He knows the college landscape. Or I got a 17-year-old kid out of high school. I'm taking a 20-year-old kid.
Right.
I'm taking them, y'all. So unless you are equal to or better than this 20-year-old kid, you're not gonna get that big time offer. And that's fine, because there's other schools out there for you. There's NIA, there's D2, there's D3, but everybody focuses on D1, and that's why most kids always sit here on signing day mad, because they overshooting their shot.
Okay, that's about all the time we have today. Where can everybody find you, Coach?
You can find me at elitetalentfootball.com or on my IG at elitetalentfootball. elitetalentfootball.com or at IG at elitetalentfootball.
Okay, thank you everybody for tuning in. This was a great show. I loved talking to Coach Tatum today. This is the 25th Factor, because numbers aren't everything.